Let's make some bag tags. I am making softball bag tags in the likeness of the Texas mums for my granddaughter's softball bags. So work with me or watch me as I work it out and make these bag tags. In the first part of the video, I've already made the back side of the one bag tag, and now I'm working on making the second one. There are two layers, so you have to do two. It's like you're having to do two tags for each one. So I first trace it out, and then I have to put the ribbons in place. And this was a little challenge. I put them on a strip of tape in the order that I wanted them, and then I taped them in place so that they would stay stable. And then after I get that done, I'm going to take it over to the machine and I'm going to stitch the ribbon down in place before I put the next layer on because I want to make sure it doesn't shift and get out of whack. Plus I'm putting tape on it and I want to be able to take the tape off of it after I am done with getting that. So I'm having to do it in reverse because I want it to look one-sided for the back side because the name of the bag tag is really on the back side of the tag. So, and then I realized I had one of them in reverse and I had to flip it real quick so that it would be in the right way. And there you go. So I'm going to take it back over to the machine and we're going to stitch around the ribbon. And this bag tag template, I just got it off of Etsy. You see, I had to go back and make sure that the ribbon laid flat. Anyway, I got the bag tag off of a file from Etsy, and then I just modify it, doing whatever I want to do to it after I get it started. So here it is. It's going to go around and stitch again. I really didn't need to do that part of the stitch, but it's part of the file, so I just let it run. I was trying to see if you could see it. There you go. You can see how it stitches right on over top of the ribbon. And what I learned on the first one that I didn't do on it, I'm going to do on the second one. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to take the tape off first. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim some of this excess ribbon off of it because I noticed in the other one it's bulky. Now I'm going to put my layer of red. This is like faux glitter vinyl. And I'll stitch around on this. And of course, on this one, I made a mistake, and I'll tell you about that mistake when we get there. It's going to show you. Okay. And the next thing it's going to do, it's going to stitch out the name. And then once it's finished, I'll take it off of the machine. And then I'm going to take it out of the hoop completely, and I'm going to cut it all apart, and I'm going to trim it up really well because I don't need, that's going to be the back side of the other stitching. And I should have, to have used my time more wisely, I should have went on ahead and took the other and put it on the machine and let it stitch out for the top side. But I was doing one at a time and I didn't use my time wisely. So you're going to see this whole thing and I'm going to actually make a mistake. And I decided I was going to leave this mistake in the video because I want you to see how real life you can make a mistake. When you're trimming this, make sure you hold onto your ribbon because you don't want to cut through on your ribbon, but you want to cut your stabilizer down and cut your other and try to cut around the blue part as evenly as possible. You don't have to get fully close to it because you're going to watch in just a minute. I'm going to actually trim it down again once it's sewn to the top side. And that makes it have a cleaner look. But there you go. There's both of the backs of my bag tags. Now, this is this is supposed to be water soluble. I don't know. I've had it a long time, but it's really a thick plastic, and I get it by the roll. I usually get my supplies like that from Coleman and Company in Florida. They are really good about having a really good grade commercial embroidery supplies. I buy my stabilizer from them. When in a pinch, I get stuff from Amazon, but the quality of their uh, supplies is really very good. Okay, so here's the first step of this one. And I have to skip that one step because this is intended as a stitch out, not an applique. So if you saw that circle, I skipped that step and I just fast forwarded through that. And then I'm going to do the stitching of the softball. And so I bought a softball file and I put it on top of put in my digitizing software. I put it on top of the bag tag so it would stitch out. And the softball actually has a satin stitch that goes all the way around it, but I didn't want to do that, so I just left it loose. And you're going to see where it's just going to do the bean stitch around it when it's all said and done. But I chose to opt out, not put that part. And here's the other part of it. And then that's all I'm going to do for this. So um, I'm going to put the other side of it on the back side of it. And then I'm going to take the tape off of it. And it is now stitched to the actual back side of that. And now it's going to go around and it's going to do the bean stitch. It's going to be on the next one that you're going to see where I made the mistake. And you tell me if you can figure out what I did. All right, so that's that bag tag. And I'm going to trim somewhat close, but not too close because I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to trim them together, but I want to get that out of the way so that I can do the next one. I'm going to use that same vinyl. I'm going to flip it upside down and I'm going to do the stitch out. I'm going to flip the design and I'm going to move it over and it's going to do the stitch out. And here's where I made the mistake. I put the back side of the bag tag in place. Can you figure out what the problem is going to be? I taped down my ribbons and did it all just right. And then I went and I put it back on the machine and I stitched it all out. And there's a point where you can almost see my hand and you realize that I made a mistake, but you're not going to see it yet. So I stitched that onto the part of it. And I was so excited because I got it lined up so perfectly. Well, now I'm putting the other part. What's wrong with that? Anybody know what's wrong with that? I even trimmed it out. Nope, there's where no, I didn't trim it out. I'm taking the stitches off because I realized that I never put the softball or the Lady Elks on it. By the way, if you go over there and you use your um, uh, lint roller, it'll pull the stitches out of it. So you don't have to sit there and pick them one by one. But now I have to go back and I have to cut this off of here. And I want to try not to cut my plastic because I want to reuse that. I'm going to go back and do the same thing at the same spot. But as you can see, that could not go on first. And I didn't even worry about the stitching on that. Now I can put the white on there because it has to come back and I have to skip through those. See that part? That's where I was talking about. That's a fill stitch. I wasn't doing that part of it because I was doing an applique. So I just skipped through that stitch and now I'm going to put the softball stitching on there and it's going to come in and it's going to put the name on it. And of course my machine was not going as fast as this video is showing it. It's going pretty fast. I wish it would go that fast. So anyway, there's that, and then it's going to put the name on it. The girls are on a younger team and an older team, and one is uh, blue and red, and one is red and yellow, red and blue. So I reversed the colors on it. All right. So now after I've done that part, now I can go take it off the machine, and I can go tape the other back onto the back side of it. Now is that step. But, you got to see it real time and you got to see how you fix it sometimes. And that's what I did. When you're putting it back in here, you need to make sure you check your ribbons. And I'm going to change the colors up a little bit and get it back started. And then it's just going to stitch right over top of it again. Do that bean stitch. And that closes it off. And that's it. That's the front and the back. And then you're going to see where I'm going to come over here and I'm going to trim it all off.
Right.
And
So
I'm going to
we are
let me
finishing
talk
it
now.
up, and I'm going to trim off the excess of the white and take them out. I made some modifications of the actual file just because I just didn't like it. It was too much. And you know, that's the thing about it is when you're making it, it's yours and you do it for whatever you want. These are for my granddaughters, and they have, the teams are named the same. One is a younger team than the other team, and so their colors are kind of reversed. So I had to make sure I made sure that their colors were the same. And so now what I'm doing is I'm cutting, just trimming around this white, and then I'm going to take it off of this. It feels like plastic. It's supposed to be where you can wet it and it will come off. But I don't ever worry about that because it just is extra stability for the actual bag tag. And they will use these on their softball bags. So I'm going to trim it as close as I can, but then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do after I take it out of the hoop. Okay, so here I have it. They're both done on the hoop. Take the tape off of this side of this one. And as you notice, the stitching just goes, whoops, I just like flipped your camera all the way around. That one didn't get lined up real well. Hopefully that's going to be okay. I'll just have to stitch it with the sewing machine if it's not fully stitched. But it is what it is. And if you, in the video, I did the real thing. I screwed up and I went ahead and I put it in the video. I'm going to put it in the video because, you know, that's real life. Sometimes you make mistakes and you got to figure out how to fix them. And when you're doing something that's double-sided the way I'm doing it, I make mistakes all the time with it because it's like your brain has to think backwards or opposite, whatever. I don't even know how to call it, but it does make you have to think. So and because I did this one upside down, I didn't want my ribbons inside getting caught up in it. And I put these ribbons in it because my granddaughters live in Texas. And if you know anything about Texas at all, they are known for Texas homecoming mums. Well, I saw these bag tags that were in the likeness of the Texas mums, so that's what I've made them in. And I hope they're just gonna love them when they're all done. Okay, so now I've got them cut apart. So here is what I'm wanted to see here. Oh no, it did pick it up. It caught it. Okay, good. All right, so what I want to do is, if you notice that I've got more white on one side, you really can't see the blue very much, but I've got more white on the one side. So I'm going to, I want to show you how this doesn't tear. Does not tear. But what I am going to do is I'm going to use my really good scissors. They're the sharpest scissors I have. My daughter bought these for me. They're the, let's see, and I'm not a sponsor or influencer for them. It's the Guggenheim scissors. Anyway, so I hate cutting the plastic, but I want to cut as close. And I go back and I cut both pieces together. And when you end up cutting both pieces together, you do not have the extra left behind. I'm going to be real careful right there. So don't want to cut this plastic with my scissors. So I only want to cut this faux vinyl with my scissors. But I want to cut this together. And then it takes away, you don't get to see as much of the other one when you do this. And the nice part about this is that they're really not going to see the other one either. So I'm going to have to go back with my scissors here. And I want to get this plastic off. There, I'm not going to actually be able to cut them together because of the ribbon. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this like this. And as you notice, you got to be real careful so you don't cut your ribbon. Be very careful. You can still see some of that lining that was in there. Use these, they'll get closer to it. Okay. Use these. And then the final snap, the final step, I am going to put a ring on it. Okay, so I will do the cam snap, and that's going to have a ring on it, and then they will attach it to their bag tag. So they are Lady Elks, and then their name is on the back of it. They're a little bit different. Each granddaughter is different. Get rid of this real quick. Now that I've got that done, I can come back here with these scissors, because this is the best way to do this. And I don't know if you can see it. Let me. And you don't want to try to cut as evenly away from the stitching as you can all the way around, because it does aesthetically make it look better when you do. All right, so there's hers. Her team colors, red and blue, and her team color is blue and red. Same colors, but that's okay. It worked out good. They're going to love them. I get to go see them next week, and I get to show them off, so I'm so excited. All right, anyway, I hope this was helpful. I tried to do the video a little bit different this time. I wanted to be able to show you the steps, but I didn't want you to have to sit there and watch for the whole process of stitching it out. So I didn't talk through any of it, and I sped it up, and then I narrated over it with a normal speed and talked you through everything that I was doing, and including the mistakes that I made. So hope you like the video and and you know, of course I'm going to come back and I can cut these. I don't know if I am or not. They're perfectly fine. The streamers I cut them all pretty much the same length, and if they're not, I'll go back and trim them up to where they are about the same length. But anyway, I hope you like this video. Like and subscribe if you like the video. Thanks. Bye.